Are you looking for that perfect gift for someone special in your life that loves to photograph action sports? Well, you came to the right place because I'm going to be giving you my gift guide for top recommendations for action sports photography. We're going to start off with more budget-friendly items and then scale up to more expensive items. And make sure that you watch to the end so that you see my bonus gift ideas. All right, so the first item is the clutch strap by Peak Design. So I personally love a strap like this over a neck strap because I feel like in those high-paced environments of action sports photography, the neck strap usually gets in the way when you're like trying to change the orientation of your camera, or you're just trying to move really quickly and not get tied up with all the crap that's going on around your neck. Instead, you have something very small, very minimal that's not gonna get in the way. Your hand literally just slips through on the side of the camera. And the thing that I love about this strap the most is that it forms to your hand basically right away. And it is very, very comfortable. The inside padding is very comfortable on the outside of your hand. And I also love that this cinch on the strap really doesn't come loose. I haven't noticed that it's ever come loose on me. It's basically just set wherever it's set. And even if you don't like rocking a neck strap, which some people are like, oh, that is the only security that I can go with. Well, I feel like this provides me enough security that if I were to accidentally let go of my camera or it were to get bumped, I wouldn't completely be lost because, you know, this is cinched up right nice and tight to my hand. So, you know, if I were to let it go, at least the camera is still there in my grip of my hand pinched between the strap. So I never really feel like I have to worry when I'm using the strap. The only time that it's ever left my camera is when I'm shooting videos like this. I never take it off my camera because it's just become so second nature just to slip my hand in. It was a little bit weird at first just to be like, oh, okay, like maybe it's gonna be a little bulky, but even when I'm like sliding it into my camera bag, I never find that this gets snagged. It like snugs up nice enough to your camera where it's not protruding too much. And you know, if you have your neck strap and you're shoving that into your bag, it's just a lot just to pack in there, right? No matter what strap you're using. I still do have the neck strap by Peak Design. And sometimes, yeah, those can be nice, but I find that this is more practical on the day-to-day use, especially when you're out shooting in the field. I mean, I've had my camera over top of the water shooting water sports, and I've only been using this. Yeah, maybe a little bit risky, but I always feel super confident when I have this on because even if my hands or my fingers were to slip off the grip of the camera, at least I have this, you know, kind of cinched in on my hand so that, you know, the camera, if it were in the side orientation, it would just basically just like tug down on the weight. And the reason why I'm not showing you this is just because the camera that I usually use this on, I'm filming with right now. And that's where all my straps are, is on that camera. But you kind of get the idea. This is a fantastic strap and I would recommend for every single photographer. This really is a must. And if the action sports photographer in your life doesn't own one of these, they will thank you later, trust me. The next thing I think every single photographer should own is one of these multi-tools. I got this one from SmallRig. It comes in this little pouch and it's nice just to like have it in this pouch so that, you know, it's not getting banged around in your bag. Just a nice place to keep it. But I love this tool mainly for this feature right here. So I love having this because I can screw on my tripod plates to my camera or take them off. And it's just really easy to do that. And then I don't have to worry about using a coin like a quarter or a dime so that I can just like take my plates on and off. This is just super handy and it has a bunch of different functions. Like it has a couple different screwdriver heads. And it also has some of these hex keys, which is really nice. It has the most common sizes that you would probably need for any camera gear. So I really love that this just comes in like a really small, simple package. Now, Peter McKinnon, who's a famous photographer and videographer here on YouTube, also sells one on his website. And if you're looking for those bonus points, that would be a really great option too, because his has different functionality to it, as well as it just has an overall style that is super nice and it just looks completely different than everything that's on the market. It has Peter's touch, I guess you could say. The person or the photographer in your life that is going to receive that is gonna know exactly who it's from and they will love you that much more. Trust me, they'll be super stoked if they get that from you. Just another way to earn those bonus points this holiday season. Another great budget-friendly item would be a camera cover, and I just use like a plastic cover. And these are really, really nice when you're in those damp or dusty environments where your camera could possibly get damaged from that. Some cameras have really great weather sealing, like my Canon 1DX back here.
These are weather sealed, right?
but other cameras like my Canon R5C don't have that great of weather sealing. Like, it has the fan on the back, so you know, any dust, any water is going in there. And so I would just trust a little bit more if I had a cover over my camera, and then I don't have to worry about, you know, that opening. And it's just great for any camera, just to protect and just to keep the life of your camera, you know, especially when we're spending thousands of dollars on camera gear. It's just nice to have that extra level of protection. So there's a lot of different covers that you can get. I just use these plastic ones, and I'll link that below so you can go check those out. Okay, so moving on to the mid-range budget, we're talking about the Peter McKinnon Helix Variable ND filter. These filters are phenomenal. I will personally be getting this filter myself because it is going to speed up my workflow tenfold. The thing that I love most about this filter compared to other filters on the market is the quick attachment and detachment from your lens. It's great because for those lighting changes in your environment, as well as, let's say for example, you want to have a lower shutter speed, and having that lower shutter speed is going to add motion blur into your photos. So you're like, okay, I want to flip that on quick in the middle of the day, and now I'm going to be able to shoot more motion blur. And then if you're like, okay, well, I want to take that off and I just want to shoot with a higher shutter speed, you can quick just pop that on, take it off, and you're just shooting so much faster. Your workflow is so much faster. And then your athletes don't have to wait as long, where you're just like sitting there, like screwing off the filter, trying to really speed up your workflow. This is just really nice to have something that's super efficient and super easy just to go on and off. I personally shoot video as well, so you know, obviously for video we need to have those ND filters. They're super crucial, super important for workflow. You know, with switching between photo and video, sometimes with your photography you don't always want to have that ND filter either, so it's just nice to be able to quick switch between your photo and video and not have to worry about having a super dark image when you're shooting photos. Another must-have that nobody loves to buy for themselves is storage. I personally love using an SSD drive when editing images rather than a regular hard drive, because the regular hard drives are a lot slower than the SSDs, and it's just going to speed up your workflow that much more when you're using an SSD, which really can save on a ton of frustration. When you're using something that's slow and it just holds up your workflow, it just gets frustrating when you're just trying to move quick and you're trying to flow through your images, and it's just a lot harder when you have to wait on a hard drive to kind of keep up to your speed. So that's why I love using an SSD. Personally myself, I use a Samsung T7 and I'm using the 2 terabyte. I would recommend getting a 2 terabyte over a 1 terabyte because I guess depending on what camera you're shooting with, it really tends to eat up your storage quick, especially for myself because I'm shooting video, so that eats into it a lot more. But I really love these SSDs, especially from Samsung. These are great SSDs, and I would definitely recommend them for anybody that's looking to get a very small portable hard drive that you can edit off of. These are great. The last mid-range item that I would recommend is a behind-the-scenes action camera. With everyone creating their own personal brand, being able to show behind-the-scenes footage can actually be really valuable to share on like TikTok or Instagram with those short 60-second videos. Personally, for myself, I'm using the DJI Action 2, and I find that this camera is really great. I love the setup. I did a video actually on this entire setup if you want to go check that out. But there is one camera I think would top this option, the Insta360 Go. The reason why I think that this camera would beat out all other small action cameras for behind the scenes shooting is because of its versatility. It's so inconspicuous, you can really mount it anywhere, and it actually has decent image quality. I have a couple friends that own these and they absolutely love them, only have really good things to say about them. The only reason why I don't have one is because I bought the DJI Action 2 before this camera came out, and I still feel like the DJI Action 2 really covers everything I need, so I don't need to switch just yet. But if you're looking to get into a BTS cam, this is a really phenomenal camera to look into just because of its form factor and image quality. All right, so the high ticket items might sound ridiculous to you, but I guess it just depends on who you're buying for and what season of life you're in. So don't throw any shade in the comments. This is honestly just suggestions for those that maybe could afford to purchase things like this. So I guess this next one kind of depends on what stage the photographer you're buying for is in, because if they already have all the lenses and cameras that they need, maybe they won't necessarily need these. But if they're starting to progress in their action sports photography career, they might like a couple of these things. So I've preached really heavy on my channel about 2 lenses in particular, one being the 24 to 70 millimeter and the other being the 70 to 200 millimeter. These are phenomenal lenses that I think every action sports photographer should have in their kit, especially if you're just starting to kind of progress in your career. And the reason why is because you have so much versatility between 24 millimeters all the way up to 200 millimeters. It's just such an amazing range. But if you are looking to buy a lens for somebody, I would definitely recommend a lens that says f2.8 on it. And the reason why is because an f2.8 lens versus an f4 lens gives you a lot more range within your nighttime shooting. So that means that you're not gonna have to raise your ISO as much, which is going to add more grain into your photos ultimately. So an f2.8 is a great option, as well as it's going to provide more separation between your subject in the background because it's going to add more blur into your background, and it ultimately just provides a more pleasing image. So the f2.8s are definitely going to be more expensive, but they are worth it, trust me. The next high ticket item is the Shimoda Action X50. I don't personally own this bag as of yet. I own an f-stop bag, and the only reason why I don't have this bag as of yet is because the priority of finances, but I will definitely be switching over to this bag as soon as I can purchase it, trust me. I know a few people that own this bag already, and they say that they love this bag for a few reasons. It has a laptop storage, it also has really comfortable straps, it has a lot of customization, and it also has a pocket for your phone, which is so nice when you're out there taking photos. There's so many times where I'm wearing gear that doesn't have a pocket, and it's just nice to have your backpack that you have on with your pocket up around your chest where you can just unzip, you can grab your phone rather than having to store it in your bag on your back where you actually have to take off the backpack, grab your phone. It just is so annoying when you're out there, you know, say if you're riding and you need to take photos. It's just so nice to, you know, quick grab your phone, kind of show the situation of where you're at. It really helps with behind the scenes and things like that. It just really gives you a lot faster workflow. So just having the phone accessible like that is also really nice. I just want to note though that when you are ordering this backpack, make sure that you're getting all of the internal storage compartments, because sometimes you have to order those separately, but I just want to make sure that the backpack doesn't show up to you and, you know, you gift the backpack and they're like, well, like where are the storage units to hold my camera and hold all my gear, right? So it's just something that I thought I would add, just that you're aware of it, so that when you go to purchase, you're like, okay, I have all the things and this person's gonna be super happy with the purchase. All right, so going into the bonus items and talking about the first on the list, heated gloves or a hand muff is super important when you're shooting in cold climates. There was one time where I was out taking photos in the mountains of a snowmobiler and I had gotten frostbite on 4 of my fingers, and it was such a rough time. And after that point, I was like, no, I don't really care what it costs. I'm going out to get heated gloves. And I also got a heated vest at the time. I got E-Wool, which there's so many different heated gloves on the market. I personally just got E-Wool just because they were more accessible to me. And they also had a pretty good brand reputation. So that's personally just what I got. But if the person isn't doing so much riding and they're just kind of in a colder climate as they're taking photos, a hand muff is great because you can pause in between taking photos, kind of stick your hand in your hand muff, and it's just a great way to warm up your hands quick before you go into the next shoot. And the one that I've heard really good reviews about is the G-Tech. One of my buddies has that and he loves it. I've used it before and it heats up really fast and your hands are super hot while you're using it. And it's a great option for those just looking to heat up their hands kind of in between those shots. Buying yearly subscriptions for somebody is a really great option as well. Something like Adobe Lightroom or Adobe Photoshop, or maybe for example, if the photographer has a website like Squarespace, then that might be a great option for you to purchase that yearly subscription for them. Having those yearly subscriptions is kind of just inevitable when you're a photographer. And so just having those things already purchased and dealt with for your year is just really nice to kind of have that out of your mind so that you don't have to worry about that cost. It's just something that not a lot of people think about, but it is really nice, you know, to have that covered. And I think the person that you buy that for would be super happy in the end. Now, I know that there's so many things that I didn't cover in this video because I didn't want to make it an hour-long video, but I will leave you a good list of things down in the description for things to look at. And just so you know, I'm not affiliated with any of these partners like Amazon or Adobe. I don't get a kickback if you guys purchase from them. I just honestly wanted to help you guys out this holiday season. I know that I'm personally looking for gift guides for other people in my life, and I just thought that this would be helpful for those of you that are looking to get gifts for the action sports photographer in your life. So I hope that this helped, but the greatest gift that you could give to me in return is to possibly subscribe to this channel. Or if you're not personally into photography, let the person know that you're purchasing for that I was the one that sent you guys to get these products, and hopefully I can help them grow and level up their action sports photography as I post videos here weekly about action sports photography. Alrighty, happy holidays. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.